What's up, guys? So the topic of today's video is going to be Americans sticking together in the Philippines. I'm not talking about all foreigners, so I'm just talking about strictly Americans sticking together. Okay, I got the laptop open for this one. I'm going to be uploading some photos into this video to help you guys, and we'll jump right into it. So personally, I think given what's going on in the Philippines right now, what's been going on for a long time, and especially what's going on recently in Mindanao with this American getting kidnapped, it's very, very important for me to discuss and get the message out there to all my American friends about the importance of us sticking together, okay? I'll just jump right into it with the man that was just kidnapped. So, yeah, tonight we're just dipping. God bless 7-Eleven, they got the dip in. So we're dipping and vaping. Right now I'm double dipping. I got one on each side and I got the vape rocking. So, look, man, this guy was kidnapped and murdered in Mindanao, okay, by terrorists. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about the terrorists because I don't want to make myself a target or any of us targets, okay? This man's name, if you guys don't know already, was Elliot O'Neill Eastman. He was 26 years old. He was abducted by 4 armed men who shot him in the leg. He had been living in that area since May, okay? Now, I'm just going to pause for a minute. I'm going to tell you where Elliot was from, okay, in the United States. Where is Elliot from in USA? He was from Vermont. I don't know what part of Vermont he was from. I know the FBI joined on this search and they failed. So yeah, man, like, it's real. Okay, now, talking about this with these terrorists and whoever else, you guys got to realize you're living in a third world country, man. The minute that one of these Americans gets kidnapped and the American family sends a significant amount of money out here, you're talking about 1 million pesos is $20,000, okay? Now, some of you that $20,000 is a lot of money, some of it's not a lot of money, but I guarantee your family can come up with 20 grand if you're kidnapped, right? The minute that one of these American families' kids gets kidnapped and they start sending money, it's going to set off a fury out here between terrorists and everybody on the street. It could be a regular family. It might even be a police officer or a firefighter that's hard up for money. They're going to be looking for you to take you off the street and get money from you. So, shout out to Elliot, man. You know, I feel bad for that guy. My heart goes out to him and his family, like, truly. But in some sort of ways, him dying was the best thing that could have happened. And I say that regretfully, but also from the heart and thankfully, because if money got involved in this situation, it would have been really bad for all of us because we would have had to look over our shoulder for every single person we interact with every day. Okay? It would have set off a whirlwind of bad things in a very, very unfortunately poverty-stricken country. So, that's the first point of why we need to be sticking together out here. You guys don't know who you're interacting with or who you're dealing with. You have no idea. Yeah, you know this province, that province, you know all the people down there, but do you really know all the people that can come out of the woodwork? No. Do you really know if this person has your back or doesn't have it? No. But what we do know is that our fellow Americans, that we have each other's back. And that's why we need to stick together. Because right now, this country's this big and we got Americans all like this throughout the whole country. We got 100 people, 1,000 people living in these provinces. We got 100, 1,000, whatever, living in BGC and Manila. We got 100, 1,000 living in an IT park. And my suggestion for all of us is that we need to start to establish a common home base of operations, okay? When you guys are traveling into the province together, I would always recommend that you have a friend or two that's planning to be in that same province at the same time. If you guys are in a big city, I would start rolling in groups. Now, this is a multi-benefit type of situation. It's a win-win in many regards, okay? Number one, we're more protected. Number two, as a group, we're out here to represent. Number three, right? We strengthen numbers. Number three, we're better as a team, okay? We're less likely to get taken advantage of in the street, get scammed at nightclubs, get scammed by local businesses, because we can all compare and contrast about what stuff costs and blah, 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 blah. The day-to-day life is going to be better for all of us in groups. Why? Because We can recommend things to each other. Hey, have you taken a look at this area or that area? Have you traveled here or there? Even if we're not in groups on a day-to-day basis, if we all network and get to know each other, I guarantee you, just like what's happened to me since I've been vlogging, you will bump into someone almost anywhere you go. When I just traveled down to Oslo, I ran into Big John. We didn't have it planned. I ran into him there. When I just went to Palawan, Tony Oliver was there the same time I was there. I met more Americans in Palawan. So the point is that no matter what way you cut it, we're safer, we're smarter, we operate more efficiently, effectively together, and our general mood is better because we have things to discuss and relate to regarding the United States, right? Okay, let me pause for a minute and get into my next point. I talked about Mindanao, I talked about traveling. Scams, okay? There's all kinds of scams. These tricycle drivers want to charge you 150 pesos to drive 5 minutes down the street. To the average American coming here, a 5 or 10 minute ride, 15-minute ride in a tricycle for less than $3 seems like a great value. But really, you shouldn't be paying that much. You should only be paying 20 to 50 pesos. The list goes restaurants. If you're eating at a Filipino place that's on the side of the street, you shouldn't be paying more than 100, 150 pesos for a ton of food. So when we're all working together, whether it's a group chat on WhatsApp, whatever it is, our combined knowledge strengthens us against these little scams, whether it's dealing with females that you met on the internet, whatever it might be. When your American brothers have your back, and we know we have our back because we're all from the same country, we're going to be stronger operating as a unit. Personally, my plan, my idea is to get a real-time group chat going on WhatsApp, because these Facebook groups are great, and we all got friends off Facebook that are in the United States, and these YouTube comments and stuff, they're great, but the problem is it's not in real time. So if we got a man out in the field and he says, hey, on his Facebook chat, or if he messages one of his friends on Facebook or a Facebook post in a Facebook group, he might not get an answer right away, and he might be standing at the local eatery right now, and they might be trying to charge him 300 pesos, or they might be trying to charge him 150 for a roll of toilet paper. Whatever the case may be, the tricycle driver may be trying to get him. But if we have 50, 100, 200, 1,000 of us in a group chat, guaranteed one of us is going to respond, right? If one of my boys is getting their door kicked in one of these provinces, and he gets one last message out in group chat, at least we know where he is and how to get a hold of him, right? And like his general location. He could even turn his location on the phone in the group chat, and we know where to get him. The last thing I want to touch base on that's very important to the Americans is the women, okay? Now, a lot of us have met our partners online. There's a lot of guys that have went through bad experiences online, a lot of guys that have had good experiences online. The good experiences speak for themselves, okay? I won't get into the good experiences because it's irrelevant for the points of us sticking together, okay? But the bad experiences, when we get a group chat going of all the Americans in the Philippines, well, guess what? When my boy Rob is dating this girl Michelle, and we find out Michelle's a bad person, she's been scamming Rob, using him, she gave Rob a STD, whatever the story is, Rob can post Michelle's photos in group chat, how old she is, pictures of her, because we know that the minute they break up or whatever happens, Michelle's going to go back on the dating site. And now, us 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 Americans, we know not to mess with Michelle, right? And that goes for any American's ex-girlfriends, whatever the situation is. We know the other side of the story, what really happened, and we know not to mess with that female. That way the next American doesn't waste their time. You got to realize, most of these Americans that are traveling here are retired multimillionaires in dollars. There is no reason that these grown men that have worked hard their entire lives and sacrificed their entire lives for monetary gain should be taken advantage of. And the only way to combat that is to take action as a group. When we start to take action as a group, people are going to realize that the Americans are stronger than the other foreigners. And the other foreigners are the ones that are going to get preyed on. Because when these predators figure out that you're an American, when we start to do this, they're going to leave us alone. They're going to move on to the easier targets. The guys from the UK that aren't linked up, the guys from the Australias that aren't linked up, the other foreigners from Middle Eastern countries that aren't linked up. They might be linked up, but they're not going to be linked up after I get done what I have planned. So, it's a short video for you guys. I hope it makes sense to you all. I'm sure it does to my fellow Americans. Stay strong out there. We have a big election coming up in the U.S. And, yeah, man. Shout out to the United States. Shout out to all you guys living in the Philippines. Shout out to the Philippines. And wherever you're living, man, stay smart. That's all I got to say. Stay smart. If you're new to the Philippines, don't hesitate to reach out to me on the channel or any of the other guys that have channels to ask us questions, man. We want to help. We're here to help. We don't want to see you get taken advantage of by women, by tricycle drivers, by people in the street. But I will say this about the street people. At least reach in your pocket and get some of those kids or an old lady or something on the side of the street a few pesos, man. 20, 50 pesos, man, could change a person's day out here. So I'll close the video with that. Keep that in mind, okay? And I wish all you well, man. Have a good night. It is October. Today's actually October 23rd. Today's Wednesday the 23rd, 2024. Have a good night, everyone.